Welcome back, everybody. Well, I did promise I was going to get a little bit more covering done this last week, and I ended up getting a lot of covering done. So let's see what all happened. Well, on the last video I had the stab. Did I have the elevators covered? I think I did. So I had the stab area done, all my jams, and the wing fairings were all completed. And it turned out really well. I'm super happy. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Today's video showcase is Night Flyer. Probably most of you, there he is right there. Most of you have probably already seen his channel. Dave Herbert's been making videos for years, and here he is getting ready to test fly a brand new 40-some-year-old Byron Pitts with a Biro drive. So check out his channel. Awesome stuff. And Dave's just an awesome guy. Back to this. See, I don't mind hearing that belt drive in the background. That sounds awesome. Anybody that doesn't like it, well, too bad. After I uploaded my video last week, I truly am thankful for all the good comments that I get. Even the ones with some criticism, you know, hey, you know, if there's something that I can do better, I'm happy to do it. But I don't claim to be the world's best builder and best monocoterer guy. You know, I do what I do because I'm happy with my results, and as you can see, you know, my results speak for themselves. You know, this is a really good finish. Is it a first place winner at the Nationals? No, that's okay, because I don't build my planes to enter in beauty pageants. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I got a comment on my last video. And you guys should know by now, if you're going to leave me a crappy comment, I'm going to make fun of you. So this guy calls himself the Crate Cruncher, whatever the hell that means, and says that my finish, and this was just when I was showing the stab and the wing fairings. I didn't have anything else done. We'll get into this in a little bit. And he said my finish is barely amateur. You know, if I would at least final sand my airplanes, they would look better. You know, everything is final sanded. This is a very smooth airplane, so not sure what he's talking about there, and I'm pretty sure I even went over how I final sand and what processes I take before covering even gets put on. But, you know, I commented and said, you know, I final sand my planes, you know, I do this, this, and that, and my results speak for themselves. If you don't like it, don't watch. That's my polite way of saying piss off. And he decided to respond, and, you know, for some reason decided to go into intimate details about his life, about, you know, how his relationship just broke up and his life sucks, so he wants to take it out on me. So, my condolences, but, you know, keep your crap to yourself, Mr. Crate Cruncher. Yeah. Best part is I blocked him from my channel so he can't comment, which is probably really going to piss him off after he watches this. But remember, don't mess with me, because I'll mess with you back. Anyways, back to the good stuff. So, but first of all, I just want to do a good close-up view of this extremely rough, not final sanded surface. I mean, look at that. Underneath this, you know, just smooth as glass surface is definitely a not properly sanded airframe. I mean, under here looks terrible. It has to. It's under there. Trust me. Under this perfect finish, it looks awful. It must. What a schmuck. So, since the last video, obviously the fin and rudder have been completed. All the stripes put on. Very simple to do. If you go back and watch the video on my Sig Cub showing how I apply Monocoat over an unsupported surface, then you'll see exactly how I did all this here. Very easy to do, a little time consuming, but not too bad. Fuselage went together very well. Was able to do it the whole side in one piece just by making templates out of pieces of paper and making the proper cutout right here first, and then cutting that onto my piece of Monocoat before I laid it on there and went across. And that turned out really nice. I am very happy. As you can see, this is definitely a rough, jagged surface that just looks awful. If only I would final sand my airplanes and take some pride into my work, I could get away from this silky smooth finish. I mean, this is just awful. I mean, it looks so good, it's just awful. I hate myself. I'll get better though, I promise. Schmuck. Anyway, so everything turned out really well. I know a lot of people were rather not concerned. I'm trying to move this without dropping it. About my method of adding a lot of covering around these areas right here, because this is where everything kind of comes together. There's a lot of different curves, and you got to bring so many different pieces of covering to one point, but yet you want it to still look good. As you can see when we zoom in on it, that's a nice clean joint. That looks really good. And because there's quite a bit of covering going on right in that very corner, if I ever have to get in here with a heat gun, I don't have to worry about the covering peeling back. And I know somebody's going to point this out. You can see the little red covering smears. Where is it at? Yeah, won't focus on it. But I haven't really polished the covering yet. So everything looks really nice. Nice pinstripe. I cut all my pinstripes by hand, by the way. And the way I do that is as simple as this. I tape down a piece of covering that I'm using for my pinstripe to the bench. I mark on it the width, and I cut it out. So, and this is also another thing. When doing an area like this where you have a mirrored effect on both sides, it can be kind of tricky to get everything to line up just right. So it takes a little bit of measuring. As you can see, if you take your time, it all pays off. I mean, I know this looks awful. I really apologize. I hate myself. But I'll get better. I promise. I promise. So that all turned out really good. Overall, I'm happy. Is it perfect? In my opinion, yes. In the real world opinion, no, it's far from perfect. But it looks damn good, don't it? That just looks nice. So, on to some bad news. I wasn't even planning on covering the fuselage yet. I wanted to get the tail done, all the stripes, and then I was going to put this away for a while. So I started working on the wings. Or wing. Other one's back there somewhere. So for the wings, I did the white on top, the white on the bottom, and the red. And this took quite a bit of time because, as you can see right here in the middle of the wing, it was where it transitions into white. So there's quite a bit of trimming and measuring and all that good stuff. So that took a little bit of time. But I went to put the blue on there and ran into a slight hiccup. Don't ask. Just don't ask. Hold on. Alright, here we go. So among all the covering that I ordered is this brand new roll of Monocoat Insignia Blue. I ordered 4 rolls because this is a very common color that I use. But unfortunately, when I unwrapped it, it just didn't look right. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, I'm sure it will. As you can see, it's not even close. Not even close. So what happened? Well, unfortunately, this is not common, but it's not uncommon. For those that don't know how the process of making an iron-on film like this, they don't run a 6-foot piece of monocoat, put it in shrink wrap, and send it to your house. These are made in rolls that are probably, about yay thick. And then they cut them down into rolls like this, or 25 foot, and so forth. Then they shrink wrap them and send them to your house. Now on these rolls, the beginning and the end of the run, there's usually imperfections in the adhesive and the color. They're getting everything to match up, everything to be good. So usually the first, probably 10 or so feet are not good. Or maybe even 20 or 30 feet. I honestly don't know how much. But the first portion and the last portion of the roll are usually discarded because they're not right. So this obviously slipped through the cracks. Kind of sucks I got 4 rolls like that. But what sucks even more is the fact that back in the good old days, when Tower Hobbies was still truly Tower Hobbies, Hobbico, all I had to do was send them a picture of that roll up against that covering right there, and they would have sent me 4 new rolls of covering. Because I'm out $60 for 4 rolls here. And they would instantly either credit my account or send me 4 new rolls of monocoat. What do you think that did for me this time? Gave me the big old middle finger. So I'm not mad at the monocoat. That's just, unfortunate quality control problem. Which, yes, I know for all you monocoat haters, before you say it, it happens with Ultracoat, your other China coats, Oratex, you name it. It happens to them all. It just doesn't happen very often, thankfully. But, yep, they gave me the old middle finger because, as we all know, Tower is now technically Horizon. And that's how they do things. Lovely. So I was able to buy another roll elsewhere. I didn't need 4 rolls anyway, but I like to stock up. So I got another roll of blue coming from somewhere else. I will never be giving Tower my business again. Wasn't happy to give them business in the first place, since they're not really Tower anymore. But oh well. Anyways, so I've been kind of trying to move this thing over. Moving this thing around without breaking it with one hand is not exactly easy. So what I'm getting ready to do now is just making sure the hatch fits good, and it fits nice and flush all the way around. All the gaps are tight, except for this gap. There's a big gap right here. The main reason that's there is because when this hatch pops off, the back lifts up, and it has to lift up before it can come out. So there has to be enough room up here for that hat. When I lift up the hatch, it has to have some room to move. So there has to be a little bit of a gap there. Plus the cowl comes right up to it anyway, so no big deal. So this is ready to cover. I'm not going to do it until I get the canopy mounted. Unfortunately, the canopy is damaged, as you can see right there. I got it. It was defective when I got it. I am very patiently waiting for a new canopy, but I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Can't continue until I get the new canopy. Oh, I did bend my landing gear. Look at that. 1/4 inch wire, all bent. Unfortunately, I bent them with the main legs too long, so I need to make another set. But that turned out extremely well. And let me show you how I did it. So if you remember right, I was not looking forward to that process because of bending 1/4 inch wire is not easy because of how thick it is. Then you get into the huge debate of heating it, not heating it, or just bending it in a vise. So I called up my good buddies at Eastwood and bought this. This is just such a basic device. It's a bender. You mount this in your vise. Got the handle up on top there. If you want to see exactly go into depth how it works, go to eastwood.com, or is that their website? I don't know. Google search Eastwood. They big in the automotive stuff. All the street rod and car guys love Eastwood because they're good guys. But they make that bender. It's only 40 bucks, and they call it the rod forming tool. There's all the information right there, part number. If you want to bend any kind of wiring, especially the 1/4 inch, without using heat, you can't go wrong. That made it almost, I wouldn't say effortless, but it made it very easy. So what else do we got here? I received my power plant for the Chipmunk. I was up in the air on what I was going to use, but I decided to go for this bad boy right here. This is DLE's newer 65. I was going to put a 55 in it, but I have plans for the 55 that I have. So then I was going to buy a 61 because a little more power never hurts. 61 was out of stock, and right underneath the 61 was the 65. So I figured, hell, for only a few bucks more, why not? That's a nice engine. Can't go wrong with DLEs. Good stuff. So, well, I think that's going to just about do it for now. Everything's coming along good. Way, way, way ahead of schedule. I wasn't even planning on starting covering control surfaces until February. And here we're just starting the second week of the first of the year. So way ahead of schedule. That's alright. That is alright. Well, everybody, I'm going to get back to work. It's starting to look like an airplane. Getting kind of excited. Alright. Later.